Welcome back to Rohrich Knows Podcast, helping you become a better and more informed you. And today we're going to talk about the CO2 mask, and with the founder and CEO of Lumisque Skincare, Lana Kerr. So welcome to Dallas, and how are you doing?
Rod, it's so good to be here, and so good to be on your platform.
Well, that's great. Well, look how great her skin is. So tell us about what is the CO2 mask, and why is it just changing how we modulate post-op care in plastic surgery and beyond?
So the CO2 Lift Carboxy Gel, and I like to refer to it that way because initially we used to think of it just as a mask just for the face,
right.
but when we came into your world, into the surgical world, we kind of think of it as a gel, so it goes all over the body. But the CO2 Carboxy Gel has been compared to topical hyperbaric. The reason for that
is pretty powerful.
That is very powerful. The reason for that is because it's doing a similar thing. It's increasing blood supply, it's increasing oxygenation to the tissue, and it's improving healing. And then even from our latest clinical studies, we're seeing what it's doing for telomeres and what it's doing for collagen type 1 and 3. But just to make it easy, the carboxy gel is delivering carbon dioxide gas into the tissue, and then the body naturally responds by rushing oxygen-rich blood to the area.
And that's called, for all you science nerds, it's called the Bohr effect.
The Bohr
so
effect.
The CO2 is driven into the tissue, and so that causes what?
That causes an increase in oxygenation. So the hemoglobin picks up the CO2 and unloads the oxygen.
Right. So it just rapidly in that area pushes oxygen in there, and which is very good because it oxygenates, it hydrates, it does all those things. It does protective things like telomere protection. And of course, as a surgeon, anything you can do to enhance wound healing, recovery, we're on board. That's why it's so amazing, this technology. So tell us about how you discovered that. I mean, I know there's a lot of great science behind it, and it was in Japan, correct?
Correct. So, just long story short, I'm a serial entrepreneur. My background is in accounting and finance, but weight loss businesses, looking for something in med spa, opened a med spa, and just looking for something different for skin. And we would just interview people. What are you doing on your skin? Why you look so great? I heard about Carboxy from a woman whose skin looked incredible. Never heard about it, so did research and found out the only way I saw that CO2 was being delivered
was injectable. Which was a no-no,
Which was just something that we're like, that's going to create so many problems for us. Anyway, just did some research, and Japan is one of our favorite places to visit, and they're very big on carbonic hot springs. So we have friends in Japan, and long story short, they located these scientists who actually have the first gel delivery system for carboxy therapy.
Wow.
So we have the exclusive rights to technology.
That's fantastic. And of course, I love Japan too. It's phenomenal. And the science is amazing. I mean, it's out there. It's very, very science-based. So it makes so much sense. And then you put it into a mask. So tell us, how do you apply it? Of course, I use it on all my facelift patients and all my recovery patients because it's like it puts them in warp speed. So how do you use it? And it comes in a little box.
Comes in a box. It has 2 packets, look like ketchup packets, but they're gold. And you mix them together, and basically the gluconolactone mixes with the water, forms a mild acid, which mixes with the magnesium carbonate. That forms CO2 gas, and then the patented formula holds it into the skin. So it's very simple. So the simplicity of it is what I really love about it, and that's sometimes why people discount it, because it's so simple. But you mix it, apply it, keep it on for 45 minutes, and then it just peels off.
It works beautifully. My patients love it. I mean, I give everybody a series of 3 to 6 packets, and they begin it like at day 1 or 2 after their facelift, and even after their rhinoplasty. And it's great for bruising too.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. So What else have you used it for in the face and body?
Okay. So I'm going to just kind of give you a history of how we kind of got to where we are
Right.
today.
Okay.
When we started, we really started with just more skincare, in really more dermatologists. One of the things I think that is really impressive about the CO2 lift is the hydration factor. It increases hydration in the skin 117%,
Wow.
which is very noticeable. It's like a cold, tall glass of water for the skin. So I think of an analogy that I often refer to, the grape raisin analogy. So, we're born this beautiful plump grape,
Right.
and then we turn into this shriveled up raisin, right? Fortunately for, professionals like yourself, you can help to slow down that process from
Right.
taking place. But the CO2 lift is very good in that. What's the difference between a grape and a raisin? It's the water content. So if we can increase the water content in our skin, which decreases as we age,
Right.
then you're going to get that plump, grape-like look to your skin, which is what people see automatically. So that's kind of how we started with just skin health.
Right.
Then we merged into, and I have to thank most of our dermatologists who really just been using it for different things and then told us, it can be used for eczema, it can be used for
Right.
rosacea. So they use it for skin conditions like that. But then we got into post-care, like after energy-based devices.
Right.
One of the things that people like is they want no downtime. And
Right.
the CO2 lift really cuts it in half. And we've done clinicals that have been published in the JDD that support that. But I think more important to the healing, what we understand is that on its own, the CO2 lift is improving elasticity 26% after only 6 applications in the
Wow.
skin. Double-digit improvement in all the major skin markers like wrinkles, radiance, luminosity. So in addition to the healing effect, you're getting actually another treatment. So you're using a microneedling radiofrequency to do those things, but you're complementing it with a CO2 lift that is also improving those same factors that you wanted to improve with the device.
Yeah, it's like a booster.
It's a booster.
Yeah.
But it's also improving the healing quality. It's bringing your own exosome, bring your own growth factors to the area.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how many treatments do you usually recommend? 2 or 3 afterwards?
So first, as we call it, the skin reboot, 6
Right.
treatments is really what you need for that.
Okay.
But the minimum is 3 to start, almost like a loading dose.
Right.
And then you can maintain with a monthly treatment. Post RF microneedling or
Right.
some type of energy-based device, 3 is where we recommend.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I use it after all my facelifts, and it truly puts their wound healing and their skin into warp drive. It really does. I mean, I go, wow, it's almost like being in hyperbaric. A lot of my patients do both hyperbaric, and it's truly been amazing. And even some of our colleagues that do a lot of body contouring, like Dr. Hoyas in Colombia, he has noticed an amazing recovery, especially from bruising and swelling. It's been unbelievable. And it makes sense because you're really bathing that area in hyperbaric type oxygen levels.
Yes.
So it's pretty amazing.
We just complete, and I think even as you said, after a facelift, you kind of beat up the face pretty good, right? You want to kind of nourish that. But we just completed another study, another venous ulcer study, which was really impressive. The before and afters, we wanted to test for the perfusion. When you introduce CO2 lift into a tissue like that is oxygen deprived,
Right.
how does it react? So we did measure before and after. You see that oxygenation improved 100%, and then that's why you kind of see the type of results that we're getting, because those were non-healing wounds.
Right, these are
that-
compromised areas.
Yes, that closed in a month of
Right.
doing treatments before that weren't getting any results.
Yeah, I mean, that's very powerful, and that's really what actually stimulated me to look at this. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And then, it's just been a natural transition to, post-op facelifts, energy devices, and sometimes I even use it if I do a lot of fillers and neuromodulators in the face, and somebody who really wants to go out pretty rapidly, I'll say, just do a packet or 2 of CO2 masks, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I've really loved the partnership that we're getting with a lot of injectables, because especially today, many people are going into biostimulators. CO2 sort of sets the ground. I was just talking with a colleague of yours, Dr. Steve Cohen, and he gave me such a great analogy of really how the CO2 lift works with, say, exosomes or other type of PRP. He used this reference, and I thought this was incredible. He said CO2 lift is really like the sun and the rain that really keeps the plant healthy, opens up the pipelines, and exosomes, for instance, is like the fertilizer. So, I always say if it's a matter of cost, get the sun and the rain, right?
always get
You
the
need
sun and the rain.
But certainly, if you can afford the fertilizer with that, you're going to get a much better crop or much better result on your skin.
Yep, no, that's great, and it's very, very cost effective. My patients love it. I mean, and I actually have it as part of my facelift rejuvenation package, but they come in and say, I want to do this regularly, so they'll do it, once or twice a month, or when they go out, to dinner. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, it's just a new horizon. So what's next, Lana, for the CO2 lift?
Well, it's still a lot of education on this. When we started this, 8 years ago, no one had heard about carboxy therapy.
Right.
And even though we have such great physicians like yourself that are understanding this technology now and utilizing it, we still have a far way to go, just in our educational aspect. And then also too, although we have seen so many different indications for this, I'm sure there are many more. So we have to invest in more studies to see really the bandwidth that CO2 lift is able to cover. We like to think of it almost like, the Windex for
Right.
skin. You can use it on everything, but we want to be able to show this so physicians like yourself can feel comfortable to use it and really see what can it do for longevity for the skin and for looking youthful with, and being able to, after a facelift, preserve the results of the facelift. So it's really more education that we're seeing on our part.
That's great. So what are 3 take-home messages for the viewer that wants to do this? How do they get it? How do they use it? And where do they go to get this the CO2 lift?
So the 3 takeaways that I would think of, first of all, I like to think of 3 points where the CO2 lift is concerned. The versatility, it can do virtually anything you want in terms of healing, in terms of skin regeneration, the universality of it, and really the immediacy of it.
Right.
You're really seeing the result right away. For them to get it, they have to go and see their physician. The CO2 Lift Pro is only sold in a physician office.
Okay.
We do have a home version that's sold on our website, but really, I say see your physician for that.
Right.
And again, they're getting the highest quality CO2 product that they can get when they get it from you.
Right. Really simple, safe, powerful, and effective. Wise words from an amazing entrepreneur and innovator. Lana, so nice to have you on Rohrich Knows podcast. And if you have any questions or comments, please let us know on my social media venues, and I'll direct them towards Lana. So thanking you again for tuning in and helping you become a better and more informed you. And until next time, stay informed.